Well, congratulations. You've made it to the final book of our 66-week journey through the Bible, and we come to the simplest, easiest book in the Bible to read and to understand, the book of Revelation. Okay, I'm kidding. It's not the simplest, and it's not the easiest book to understand. So let me give you a little background today. This is going to be a slightly longer video because I want to give you some background on the book of Revelation. First of all, in the Bible, we've seen there are different types of literature. There's historic books, there are prophetic books, there's wisdom literature, there are gospels, there are letters, there are epistles, and there's also what's called apocalyptic literature, which is what the book of Revelation is. The word apocalypse comes from the Greek word apocalypsis, which means disclosure, unveiling, or revelation. It's revealing something that is hidden. It's not readily apparent. Some of the characteristics of apocalyptic literature include symbolic visions, which is what we see in Daniel in the Old Testament, in Daniel chapter 7, verse 12. That's an apocalyptic section. And the book of Revelation. It's filled with these visions, symbolic visions. And there's usually a heavenly mediator, somebody to interpret or to translate, if you will, explain what the visionary, and in the book of Revelation, that's John on the Isle of Patmos, to explain what's being seen. Apocalyptic literature is characterized by dualism. There's good and there's bad. There's good and there's evil. There's these opposing forces that are in a climactic battle. And that's what we're going to see in Revelation. And at the end of that battle, the struggles that people go through are the birth pangs, which are symbolic that the end is near, and it will eventually lead to, in Revelation's case, a new heaven and a new earth, where God is at the center, and God is in relationship with human beings and creation, and all is once again right. The book of Revelation, it's important to understand, was originally written to 7 local churches, just like we're a local church. It was written to 7 local churches. There's specific instructions to each of those 7 local churches in chapter 2 and chapter 3, and then the whole rest of the letter is intended for all of them. And one of the things that one of my teachers shared with me about Revelation is we are to think about, when we read this book, what are the life-changing implications of this eternal perspective of my ultimate destiny as a member of God's all-inclusive community of love. And it's the all-inclusive community of love because, as we'll see, in heaven there are people from every tribe and nation and language and tongue. It's not just Jews, it's not just one particular nation. It's an all-inclusive community of love made up of people who have followed and worshiped Christ. Our verse for the day, did you think I'd get to a verse of the day? Our verse of the day is from chapter 1, verse 20, which says, "As for the mystery of the 7 stars that you saw in my right hand, and the 7 golden lampstands," the 7 stars are the angels of the 7 churches, and the 7 lampstands are the 7 churches. So again, book of Revelation is first written to 7 specific local congregations, and they're going to hear God's revealed word for them in their setting and context. And one of the things that Revelation teaches you and me is that God is still speaking to churches. And just as God spoke to those 7 churches, which are now in what we would call Turkey, God is still speaking to us as well. And we need to be open to what the Spirit is saying to the churches.